Alright, y'all. Let's do a quick review on the Freightliner and the International box truck. I honestly think the Freightliner is better in terms of visibility. That's just my opinion. You kind of sit low compared to the International. With the International, you're kind of sitting way up high. With the Freightliner, you're kind of sitting low and you can see the whole back. You know, you got good visibility both sides. So definitely, if you're starting out and you're looking into buying a box truck, look, I have an International, but I think in terms of visibility, I like the Freightliner better. Okay, so that's just my take. That's just my opinion. Right? You would think I'll go towards International since I own one, but I don't think so. You kind of sit up way too high in the International compared to a Freightliner. In terms of acceleration, I think the International is better, the way it takes off. But once you're on the highway with the Freightliner, it's really good. You know, ain't no difference. But I think just the takeoff, the International has a little bit more power than the Freightliner. I don't know. That's just my take. But you know, if you start to drive this, it might take you like about 200-300 miles to get used to driving one of these, right? And after that, it just drives like a regular car. Like, you know how to, you know, how wide your turns are, you know, where to stop, you know, what kind of distance you need in front of you. So, you know, I mean, I was terrified when I thought about, you know, starting to drive this thing, but now I just whip it like a regular car. You know, it ain't no big difference. I just drive it like a regular car now. So, but I'm also aware that, you know, it's not as fast as a regular car when when it comes to brakes. You feel me? So that's definitely something, you know, you always want to, you know, be mindful of. But overall, man, you know, the Freightliner, I think it's a good, you know, it's a good truck to start with. And not per se it's a good truck to start with. It just feels better to drive. It just sits right. It's low to the ground compared to the Freightliner, compared to the International. So that's just, you know, why I'm saying what I'm saying, you know. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and take a test drive in the International, and just see how, you know, how that feels, you know, compared to the Freightliner. Yeah.
All right, so now that we have seen the Freightliner, we're gonna go ahead and look at the International and see how that drives. So I drove the Freightliner first. Now we're gonna jump into the International and let's talk about that. And again, at the end of the day, both trucks is great. Not bashing one or the other. It's just gonna end up being your preference, whichever one you like. If you're in the market to, you know, when I bought my truck, I didn't get the chance to go ahead and test drive the truck. Just bought it offline and that was it. If you can, go get in a Freightliner, test drive that one, then get in the International, get in the Hino, whatever you want to do. So long, you know, you like the truck and the engine is a good engine, you're good to go. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just a little comparison between the two trucks. So, and again, this is just my opinion. You know, somebody can, you know, have their own whatever one you like. That's your preference. I just thought I'd just run down the two trucks. Maybe I can help out a little bit, you know. Everybody be bashing the Internationals. As long as you got a good engine in that, that's fine. So it is what it is. Check the
So I'm
International.
doing a quick review on the Freightliner and the International. Just trying to see which one is my preference. Now, I'm not gonna say that I like both, but I feel like, you know, comparing, like when you drive the Freightliner and then you jump into the International, with the Freightliner you kind of sit low compared to the Internationals. I don't know if it's just me, but that's how I feel. In terms of power, I feel like the International has a better acceleration than the Freightliner. Yeah, I think in general, once you're on the highway, I think the International goes faster than the Freightliner. I might be biased, but in terms of visibility, the Freightliner, you kind of see a lot more better than sitting in the International. I don't know, it could be just me, or it could have been the way I was sitting, you know, but I feel like you got more control with the Freightliner. It feels smaller than the International, you know, cab. So which one would I prefer? I don't know. At first, when I drove the Freightliner, I kind of liked it better, and I think if you're starting out with the box truck, the Freightliner might be your choice, because, you know, the way you're sitting kind of low and you have good visibility. But at the same time, I could be wrong, because both of them 26 foot, they're both the same, you know, length, so I could just be biased. But if I had a choice, would I be buying a Freightliner or International? I don't know. I just, you know, everybody talks about the Freightliner, but you know, now that I've drove this for almost 1,000 miles, the International, I drove this for almost 1,000 miles, and I drove the Freightliner for about 600 miles. I'm getting used to the International, so I like it now. But before I drove this, and I only drove it for I think about 60 miles before, I would have said the Freightliner. But I think I've drove this, you know, more miles, and, you know, I've spent more time in this, so I'm kind of getting used to it. So at the end of the day, you're just gonna have to get used to whatever you get, and it feels comfortable. But if I was doing a test drive, you know, if I was off the back fresh, no, you know, experience in the box truck, and I was in the hunt, or I'm in the, you know, the market to buy, you know, a box truck, most people are gonna go buy a Freightliner because it feels better. It just sits lower than the Internationals, I think. So, you know, most people will lean towards the Freightliners. But I think in terms of like acceleration, I think the International does it for me. So in that case, I'm gonna go with the International. But again, before I started driving this, I was leaning towards the Freightliner because just the way it looks, just the way it sits, right? It feels like you have a little bit more control. In the International, it feels like, you know, you're up here. I don't know. It might just be me though, but I feel like, you know, if you didn't have an experience with the box truck, you would definitely prefer the Freightliner before the International trucks. So that's my quick review on the two box trucks I've driven. I haven't driven a Hino, so I can't talk about that. I'm just, you know, talking about the two trucks I've driven already. So, but overall, I need to put some diesel. But I'm trying to take it down to E, so I know how much I actually pay for a full tank. So I'm trying to factor all the numbers right now. So we're gonna let it ride for a little bit more on E before I fill it up. But yeah, that's my quick review on the two box trucks, the Freightliner and the International. Again, you might, you know, everybody's preference is different, so that's my 2 cents. All right, guys. Anyways, it's been real.